On May 10th, 2026, a man walked onto the stage at Kevin Hart's roast wearing a cape. And it was the one person Kevin Hart's team probably should have kept away from a live microphone. 2 years earlier, Katt Williams sat in a podcast chair and tried to end Kevin Hart's entire career. Called him a fraud, an industry plant, said he never earned a single thing. And now, Netflix handed him a mic, a spotlight, and Kevin Hart sitting 10 feet away. What happened next looked like the most beautiful reconciliation in comedy. A hug, an olive branch, peace, until Kevin Hart got up and told everyone it was fake. The roast of Kevin Hart, live on Netflix. The Kia Forum is packed. This was the streamer's big follow-up to the Tom Brady roast, and the producers wanted another GOAT in the hot seat. Word is they offered it to Paul McCartney first. A Beatle turned them down. So they got the biggest comedian alive instead. Shane Gillis is hosting. He opens by thanking Netflix for picking an extremely white guy to host a celebration of Black excellence. Usher performs. The Rock strolls out to We Will Rock You. On the dais, Tom Brady, Cheryl Underwood, a room full of professional flamethrowers, all there to torch Kevin Hart. And Kevin struts out through pyrotechnics, promising a show even better than the Brady roast. And then Regina Hall steps up to make an introduction. The crowd has no idea what's coming, because the next person to walk out is the last man anyone expected. Katt Williams, in a cape. Grinning, the room gasps, because everyone watching knows these two are supposed to hate each other. Katt doesn't waste a second. His opening shot, that Kevin's so short on star power, they had to start booking his enemies. He tells the crowd flatly, "I said I hate him, they told me to come anyway. It's vicious, it's hilarious." And to understand why the whole room lost it, you have to go back 2 years. January 2024. Katt Williams sits down with Shannon Sharpe on Club Shay Shay. For nearly 3 hours, he doesn't tell jokes, he settles scores. The episode becomes one of the most watched podcast interviews ever made. And the name that turns it into a war is Kevin Hart. Katt's claim, nobody remembers a young Kevin Hart packing out comedy clubs.
In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show.
In Katt's telling, the deals were already done when Kevin arrived. He pointed to Kevin's first year in LA, a network sitcom and a lead movie role, and asked, "Name another comic who shows up and instantly gets that." That, he said, is what a plant is.
He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is?
Then the heaviest swing. Katt claimed that for years, every movie Kevin Hart starred in had first been offered to him, and that Kevin got them as leftovers. Now, here's the reality check. And funny enough, Kevin would answer this himself 2 years later at this very roast. He rattled off a decade of his hits, Jumanji, Ride Along, Central Intelligence, and asked the obvious question. Katt, you're telling me you turned all of those down because the record says otherwise. Kevin Hart came up grinding open mics in Philadelphia for years. 11 movies opened at #1, billions at the box office. So this was Katt's narrative. But the clip was out, and 80 million people had heard it. But this beef didn't start in 2024. It's almost a decade old. Back in 2016, Katt called Kevin a puppet, and all but challenged him to a comedy showdown. He later walked it back. Then 2018 reopened the wound. Katt took shots at Tiffany Haddish, Kevin's co-star.
You can't tell me your favorite Tiffany Haddish joke. Why? Because she ain't done a tour yet. She ain't done a special. She has not proven the ability to tell jokes back to back for an hour to nobody. And they already ready to down Monique.
And Kevin came to her defense, airing years of grievances at Katt in the process.
So when you say Tiffany Haddish doesn't deserve or isn't really a comedian and these other women have worked hard, which they have. Shouts out to Melanie Camacho. Shouts out to Lou Nell. Shouts out to Leslie Jones, who are all underneath the umbrella of Katt Williams. Katt Williams, have you ever used your platform to fucking bring the people that were under you up?
2 comedians, one who became the face of mainstream, billion-dollar corporate success. One who built his whole brand on being the outsider who says Hollywood is rigged. This was never just a feud. It was a culture war about what comedy is even for. So when Katt unloaded in 2024, everyone braced for war. And Kevin Hart basically shrugged. No takedown, He used the biggest attack of the year to plug a movie, joking a line in his trailer must be about Katt. On camera, he gave the line that summed up his whole strategy. You don't entertain the circus, you watch it. And later, he admitted he wished he'd said nothing at all. One man threw everything, the other refused to make it a fight, and here's what almost nobody noticed. Somewhere in there, quietly, off camera, they actually fixed it. Kevin later said it took a phone call. Cutting out the middlemen, 2 grown men deciding the war wasn't worth it. So by the time the roast rolled around in 2026, the beef was already cold, which is exactly what set up the most confusing 5 minutes in roast history. Back to that stage. And by the time Katt grabbed the mic, the dais had already left Kevin in pieces. Tom Brady sized up his 7 Super Bowl rings against Kevin's 2 ride-along credits and called the whole night just another Kevin Hart shitty sequel. Cheryl Underwood joked he was packing 10 inches, then clarified she meant his legs. But nobody came to bury him like the man in the cape. Katt has the mic, and he is not holding back. He jokes that this is his Riyadh Comedy Festival, the only one with a soul, a shot at Kevin for cashing those Saudi checks. He needles Kevin about the Diddy parties, deadpanning that the way Kevin goes quiet about it is the tell. He warns the crowd they're about to hear things Kevin's not familiar with. Those things are called punchlines. Then he looks around the room and asks if this dance is really the best the industry could put together, joking he can't tell if the Illuminati is real or if this is just the junior varsity version, which, if you remember his whole industry plant theory, is the joke landing exactly where he aimed it. And then the line that doubles as a warning shot. Katt says he's won an Emmy, but tonight is going to be his best acting yet, because he's going to stand there and pretend, for the folks at home, that Kevin is actually a goat. Remember that word, acting. Because then it turns, this stopped being a roast and became something harder to read. Kevin stands up, he looks at the man who tried to torch his career, and he tells the room, "Me and this man have been at odds for years, but I'm a fan first." Then, live on Netflix, he extends an olive branch, asks, simply, "Can we move on?" Katt steps toward him. They hug, the crowd erupts. Nearly 10 years of beef, over. It's genuinely moving. And then Kevin Hart blows the whole thing up. Later, in his own set, he looks back at that tender reconciliation and calls it some of the best acting he's ever done. Says he didn't mean a word of it. And caps it with 2 words, "Fuck Katt Williams." So was any of it real? Here's the kicker. Roast producer Jeff Ross revealed that the entire surprise, bringing Katt out, the tension, the handshake, was Kevin's idea. Kevin engineered it. Because Kevin Hart isn't just a comedian. He's a producer who knows that real discomfort makes unforgettable television. So who won? Katt Williams spent 2 years trying to prove Kevin Hart was a manufactured product of the industry. And Kevin's answer was to manufacture the perfect moment, turn the man who attacked him into content, on Kevin's stage, on Kevin's terms, and still walk away with the last word. Maybe that's the most Kevin Hart thing imaginable. He didn't win the fight by fighting. He won it by producing it. And the irony writes itself. The man accused of being manufactured just out-manufactured his own accuser, live on television, and got a standing ovation for it. So, did they really squash the beef? Or did Kevin Hart just pull off the most expensive troll in comedy history? Drop your take in the comments. And if you like entertainment breakdowns, subscribe so you don't miss it.